Oh my Lord.
That girl got some good teeth.
Welcome everybody.
Again.
Nah, don't try to double back with your compliment. You already said what you said.
Teeth nice, but nose still big, but I still love you.
Oh, yo.
I love my big nose. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So do I.
God given.
Lanre, I like that. Lanre got the swoop going. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eddie. Sorry.
As everybody who's now just checking in can see that we've already had a good 10 or 15 minutes of warming up. So I want to welcome everybody to the A&R sessions. We have another great lineup for you today. If you missed last week, I'm pretty sure this week is going to be a little bit better. So I want to jump in and let everybody introduce themselves. As usual, I'm Eddie Blackmon, Vice President of A&R at AWOL Cobalt. And then we'll go ahead and jump to my left, starting with Ari.
Hi, I'm Ari Gelaw. I'm an A&R for Universal Music Publishing based in New York.
Lanre.
Hi, I'm Lanre Gaba, Senior Vice President of Urban A&R and General Manager of Urban A&R at Atlantic Records.
Who's next? My left, Bobby the Oracle.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Bobby Fisher. I'm A&R at Empire, and I'm based in New York.
Archie.
Archie Davis, SVP of Marketing and A&R at RCA.
Gene Nelson.
What up, y'all? I'm Gene Nelson.
That's it?
Oh, I gotta say more now. I'm fucking with y'all. No, I'm Gene Nelson. What do you call it? I'm CEO, co-owner, and president of BPG, Blueprint Music Group, and also partner, Maverick, Live Nation, and all that types of shit.
And last but not least, back by popular demand, Mr. Ray Daniels.
Ray Ski.
I'm Ray Daniels. I'm Senior Vice President of OVAD Warner. And I got my own shit going too, but I'm here for Warner. I'm representing Warner today. Let's go. I'm the brother company. I'm the brother company to Lanre. We brother and sister, so we super friendly.
So you gonna be on your best behavior today?
I just say that. I just said we're super friendly.
I don't want you on your best behavior. Let's have some fun.
Oh man. So
nice.
how's everybody doing? Everybody holding up well?
Yeah.
No, I'm doing terrible. This shit sucks, y'all.
You know I do have the power to mute, right?
I got the power to get off too.
No, doing good, man. Healthy and well. My immediate family's doing well. Prayers to everyone that's being affected by this pandemic. I've never seen
as long as somebody on here got a title in front of their name, we are fine.
Amen.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And
Real
before I forget, because I have forgotten the last few times to mention, we want to make sure that we're encouraging donations to some type of COVID relief. I mean, specifically, we're asking for the Music Cares to take care of some of our, our friends and family who are out of work at this time. So I put the link to the donation site directly in the chat. So make sure that you check that out. So before we get to some of the live questions, and I'll also put the guidelines in the chat for the live questions, I just want to start it off with a few questions. And the first, of course, is our good old A&R, artists and repertoire or analytics and research. And I want to go around and we can start with, we'll start with Bobby and just kind of give us your perspective on, your view and your take on that.
Well, in my perspective, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously at Empire, where, as far as analytics is concerned, we're concerned with that, but I'm also a hands-on and a gut guy. I mean, with the few recent signings that I've had, obviously in the drill movement with Chef G and Sleepy, that wasn't metrics. That was just gut and just word of mouth. And then obviously you see things from a larger spectrum, like a Cookie Kawaii, where obviously the record was just exploding. So it's a merge between both. I think nowadays you can't do one without the other.
So, Archie, what's your viewpoint on it?
I mean, I would echo that it's a little bit of both. I would probably err on more of the artist and repertoire side, because to a lot of this shit, it's really no rules. And with that, with that part, from a longevity standpoint, it is rules to building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, you know, that's where we start to see stars breaking, is the ones that kind of buy into that theory, you know, and being able to put in the repertoire and orchestrate those teams of people that can, like, really lend to making sure that their message is spreading as much as it can. So I would say it's a little bit of both, but I'm definitely more on the A&R side.
Lanre, as GM and SVP of Urban A&R over at Atlantic, what's your, you know, your personal take, and then how do you, you know, what do you tell your staff? Like, what's your philosophy when you talk to them?
I mean, obviously we do look at metrics, we look at research, but as everybody else said, it's really gut that it comes down to. Research and metrics might be what puts something on our radar, but we're still going to do the same type of, you know, checking it out, spending time with the artist that we would someone who came off the street. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's so funny. I feel like there's something, we take pride in building artists from the ground up. And so many of the artists that we've broken in the last couple of years have come that way. That, like, a lot of my A&R is like, they're resistant even to really look at, you know, research records for the most part. Like, that's a battle with them sometimes. Like, nah, I got this, you know? So, and oftentimes I think what you find with research records is, like, they lead you down the path of a record, but it really, for us, we care about an artist. We care about somebody who's gonna be here in 5 years, who's gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna build to the ground up and you're gonna see them, you know, elevate to go perform at Madison Square Garden. That's, like, more what we're interested in. So obviously you need both, but, you know, I think gut still trumps everything.
Ari, I mean, I know your position's a little different because you're over at Universal Music Publishing Group, but just what's your general philosophy on analytics and research versus, you know, traditional A&R?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with what everyone's saying. In a perfect world, we have a balance of both. I love A&R research and the value they bring. And I think there's so many ways to consume music now as an A&R. It's kind of impossible to stay on top of, like, the TikTok and SoundCloud and YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And I think A&R research is a tool and a way to cut through all that noise and see what exactly is reacting in the digital space. But I agree that you do need traditional A&R to, like, filter and decide which of these artists are of substance and who can have longevity or a career in music. So yeah, I agree. That's, like, my 2 cents. I think it's a balance of both.
Gene Nelson.
Yo, well, my take on this is, I definitely agree with what everybody said, but, you know, I still really believe also the biggest problem is, to me, I come straight forward. The problem is how all these labels are set up. I think there is no more real A&Rs, because right now I feel there's so much youth out there, and I blame my elder statement also, who don't pass the torch or empower enough A&Rs enough to have that power to be able to do the shit that, you know, the shit that the G. Robesons, the hip hop, the Gene Nelsons, the Irv Gottis, the Puff Daddies, you know, we had, like, full range, you know, to really break an artist. Yes, I believe in the whole, you know, research shit, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's popping now, but how do you turn it to the brand? You know what I'm saying? Who becomes the next Kendrick, the J. Cole, the Drakes, the Waynes? And I think that problem starts within the company itself, because I feel a lot of these guys, number one, because we're in a different time right now, because technology, anybody can be famous. You could do some goofy shit right now and you're famous for 15 minutes. So basically now the problem I'm seeing I'm having is the chain of command. And a lot of these young A&Rs, they're not being let loose and taught the same way. And that's where so that's why we have this clash right now of these, you sign these one niggas who's hot for, like, 2 months and there's another. We could keep naming them. The problem is it starts from the team, the management process, and down to the labels. You know what I'm saying? Like, half these times people sign, you got these kids right now who's in the bag, I'm getting my bag. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Nobody's thinking about career. And then now you got this new breed. We've been had a pandemic in the music industry. Everybody wants to be famous. Even the A&R, even the fucking lawyers. That's the problem, and we got to start having structure. We got to start having structure within ourselves. So, or you could do all the analytics, you could find the next this, and that. It don't matter. Nobody yet has figured out when they get inside to a high position, because number one, we have another problem. There's not enough high-ranking Black executives, number one, in this game. That's another problem we're having. And then when we do get there, they don't do the right thing and they're controlled. So that's why myself, if you see, I didn't do everything on my own. I have a team, and I consider my team to be one of the best and not taking away from nobody else's team. Like, I'm so happy to see Bobby at Empire doing what he's doing. Somebody who was there with me to watch Bobby and Delonte come in and break Trey songs. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe the hype. It wasn't that Atlantic did what they did to the next level, but those two guys came into me and G's office and said they got a mixtape. That's it. But we had the power, me and G, to go in there, to go to our superiors and be like, yo, let's go with this. And they don't have that no more, y'all. There's no more of that. And I don't blame anybody here on this call, but I'm trying to say that's the root of the problem. That's the problem, like, you know, me and my partners, why we don't fully go inside completely, because you're not going to control the culture, something that I know and live. I'm not saying because you're white or Black, you know the culture. You just got to understand it. And right now, a lot of people who's in power don't understand it. That's why you're getting these one-hit wonders and this, next, there. They don't care. As long as they streaming, they'll find the next you in 6 months. We got to care. And us together as a community, as executives, we got to care. And right now, we got a big problem with that. There's too many goofy suckers in this game right now. But I'm going to fix it, though. But what everybody's saying, though, I agree with. But remember, this research shit and motherfuckers popping on Instagram or TikTok, it's nothing but free marketing. It does not guarantee you're going to sell 1 million albums. It's a good start.
Pastor Gene got it spicy already.
All right, that's it. I ain't talking no more. Y'all motherfuckers can talk.
Well, before
I
get
allowed to curse on this?
Sure, Gene, if that's what you like to do.
Oh, Gene.
I'm sure this is an 18 and older in the audience. Don't worry about it.
I don't know if this shit going on Pornhub, but I don't know what's going on. I'm just making sure. I can curse. I'm cursing. Let's go. So I'm just happy to see y'all.
Before Ray gets into it, I want to touch on something.
I want to address it too. So I'm glad.
I know. I saw the look on your face, but I want to segue into something that Gene said, and then actually Ray went back to an earlier conversation that we were having. You know, before was the type of A&Rs. You know, 20 years ago, you have your traditional, you know, record men who are finding the artist, putting them in with a songwriter or a producer, and now you have different levels of A&R. You have relationship guy A&Rs. You have some of those traditional A&R guys. You have the research. No,
people. Eddie, that's wrong. That's wrong.
What's wrong? That's not what's going on right now?
No, an A&R is a fucking A&R. A&R, 80% of it is
no. That's not what I'm saying.
No. We were speaking about how it is now. What you're saying is what A&R is A&R, but I'm saying now the A&R has been finessed into so many different positions that you have guys who literally are A&Rs. You got guys who are A&Rs that have never fucking made a record.
Exactly.
Never made an album in their life. You got A&Rs who literally are A&Rs who have who don't know how to speak the language of the artist, who don't know how to do shit. You see what I'm saying? So we were speaking about how like if I could speak, I want to just kind of speak on it because okay, so because see, this is what I think the problem is. I think the system is broken, like you said, Gene, but this is the problem. The problem is that, first of all, A&R is the hardest it's ever been right now than it's ever been, right? Because here's how we get fucked, right? So let's say some shit pop up on research, right? And Ray say, I want to sign it. Let's say I like it. I don't even love it. I just like it. The research guy plays it. I like it. I sign it today. It's fucking, what's today? Today is April. I signed it in April. That shit don't take off by September. Next thing pops up October. I like that. My guys are looking at me like, you like that last shit in April? Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So what people don't really understand is that the system is really broken. There needs to be a research department that signs shit based on research like the motherfucking NBA. I'm gonna sign this because this is researching well. We're not even gonna bring this into the A&R department or around the motherfucking record makers right now because we don't even know if it's worth your fucking time yet, bro. We just signed this motherfucking record and this shit is taking off on TikTok and we want to see what it's gonna do. Let's sign that. And then it's like the NBA. We don't know if they're ready. We're gonna send their ass to the G League and see if they can work hard, if they can even work within the system. But the problem is that A&Rs have head counts. They don't let us get all our shit off. So that's why it makes it so hard for us to really sit here and develop shit. Atlantic is different. And Lanre, you know me, I don't just talk because you hear. I really talk because I know it. Atlantic is one of the only labels that assign a nigga, give him 4 years to fucking take off.
We sure
Every
will.
other label is like,
every other
label is like,
no, but look, I mean, look, I think all of us on this panel, I think we do know that it takes development.
Absolutely.
And that's the respect
but Bobby, every other label does not give you a chance to get development because you and I both know we had an artist together at a certain label, and when we turned in a record that didn't work or two, they sent his ass home.
Yep.
So what I'm telling you is that this is what I'm trying to say. It's a motherfucking trick. That's why to me it's frustrating because it's like, that's why we never get shit off because it's almost like, it's like, this shit is like love, my nigga. This is like we trying to make a motherfucking meal that people want to eat and is going to want to pay top dollar for and whatever. So this shit is like love, my nigga. And y'all really giving us motherfucking McDonald's fucking moments. But
that's the problem. But that's the problem. We shouldn't be giving people McDonald's. We should be giving people.
Yeah, but the reason why, here's the reason why.
It takes time.
Exactly. And guess what? There's nobody that looks like us that we can have a conversation with that understands the difference. To me, that's the problem. To me, the problem is that if I can't sit down with somebody to say, hey man, this nigga lame. And I know his shit, and I'll say this to anybody who listens. Nobody should be head of black music if they can't say to their artist, what's up, my nigga? If you playing music that you can't recite the lyrics to, you shouldn't be head of that motherfucking, that shit. You think they wouldn't let me be head of country music if I can't speak their language? It's the truth. Because we understand, and let's be clear, the labels that are at the top of the food chain have black executives at the top. So it's a lot of issues. Research tells you the story. It tells you the story, but it's for the niggas that's smart enough to figure out why.
Exactly.
That's what research does. It gives you the information, but you got to be smart enough to figure out why. This nigga might be taking off over here, but it got to be a nigga smart enough to say, oh, here's why that's working. Not so, like I don't want to put my team on blast, but it was one certain artist that popped up on our research, and they said this guy is on a TV show. It's somebody you signed, as a matter of fact, Bobby, and they was like, he's on a hit TV show on USA. And what the fuck? He's not on USA. He on fucking Stars. But the research says that show on USA gets more motherfucking ratings than the Stars show. Well, nigga, where I'm from, that nigga is famous for being on Stars, nigga. And that's why those black girls are showing up to his fucking show. Right. But you can't say that. Because then it looks like I'm the angry nigga. I'm not the angry nigga. I'm the nigga that's frustrated that you are talking for me. But why do I have to teach you that? Why do I have to say that to you? You shouldn't even be able to speak on that. But then it's like, you know what I'm saying? Archie, we talk about this all the time.
Exactly. But Ray, just to add on to what you're saying, that's still, and I know what we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, it still took time and development. You know, this person that we're talking about. I'm not speaking on what took time to develop. I mean, the context and the dialogue is saying, knowing what, I understand what you're saying. I mean, as far as the context of it is saying, we should be embracing it because we know where it comes from. Correct?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is that the data told you one thing, but that's not what the reason why it was working. Yeah. It was something else. Like I said, the research gives us the clues. It's for the people to understand what it is. And I see somebody say in the comments, why am I so upset? I guarantee that person is not black. Because if you're black, you understand that I care. Because if you're black, you understand that this is how we talk to each other when we give a fuck. When we care about it, like this is how, matter of fact, if I sign you, This is how I'm gonna talk for your shit. Cause I care.
Yeah.
You don't want no nigga, like, I'm not a passive nigga. I'm not like, you don't want no A&R that's in the room like, yeah, listen to this song and doesn't bob his head. Or doesn't get in the room and dance around and say, this is why I believe in this shit. Mm-hmm. We all got in this music business because we love this shit. Nobody's in here by accident. We in here because we love music. Nigga, this is passion. But, you know, okay. Hey, sometimes, it's just, I'm sorry, go to your next thing, Eddie. I want to take over.
Go ahead, Eddie.
I was going to say, I want to let Lanre jump in because there's about 3 questions that I feel like she wanted to answer in there. She had a few things to say.
Let the lady speak.
You know, I think the number one thing people need to understand is different labels have different business models. Like, and so what happens is, so I'm the conversation of, oh, the art of A&R is dead, or the art of artists are better. It's such a tired conversation to me because that's not my reality. Like we sign things we believe in, whether there's research, whether there's not, and I can list a million artists that we've broken from ground zero, and we stick with it. Like, and it takes time, and we know that, and we know how to manage it so it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, maybe if you go across the street, and by the way, that's what we know for a fact. Like certain artists, you're gonna have the research, people gonna go pay you $2 million. If the thing isn't working in 6 months, you're out of there. Congratulations, you got $2 million, but you don't have a career. You know what I'm saying? So like, I always say that to artists is like, it depends on what you want out of this thing. And by the way, you might take that $2 million and because you're smart, you have a smart team, you can go finesse that into something else and finesse that into your career. And if you are equipped to do that, go ahead and do it. But if you really,
can I ask y'all a question?
Go ahead.
I got a question for us. I always ask this question. This is for all of us on this panel. Would you give a brand new Rolls Royce to a 16-year-old driver?
No.
Why are we giving $3 million? Why were we giving? Okay, Gene. I get. Okay, well, I got 6 with me and 1-to-1. So let me use that. Why would we give $3 million deals to kids that don't even know what they did to get there and expect it to work without any kind of guidance or any kind of anything?
Let me answer that for you. The reason why
it's the question, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer it for you. The reason why, number one, I would give a 16-year-old a Rolls Royce is, number one, why not? Number two, the answer to your question is the $3 million deal is predicated on the work that, because we're in a different time right now, because a lot of these kids do, a lot of them do put work in, you know, on building up their touring, their own brand with their little team. And the reason why I say, yeah, they're worth the money, but the thing is, it's not the amount of money you give them, you know, the label pays them the $3 million or $2 million. It's the teamwork. And I never blame labels. Labels are nothing but an institution and a home and a bank. They're going to react on how you react, okay? And they're going to come in when it makes sense because it's the art of business because they got to recoup. What the problem is, like I said from day one, we could beat ourselves in the head. There's nothing wrong with A&Ring. The problem is the infrastructure of the labels. This goes for any labels. Universal, Warner, you know, Sony, all labels included. It starts with the system of who's in the chain of command and how the orders are predicated. You know what I'm saying? That's all this is. And that's the problem that I see. I see it. The problem is wrong power players in position. I'm not saying put me in there or nothing like that. I'm just saying there's so many people that should be in these positions. Like, I feel like right now, like Ray Daniels, like, there's no reason why Ray Daniels, why shouldn't you be offered the Def Jam position? You know what I'm saying? Why shouldn't you? There's no disrespect to Peter Rosenberg, but he had one huge client, not taking nothing away from him. I don't call names. I'm just speaking like it is, but just looking for what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason, like, none of these guys are calling our phones. They call who they can control and who's not going to buck the system. If you can't buck the system and be creative, you can't recreate another Def Jam, another Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? Hatch goes off to QC and all these new guys. You know why? Because they started on their own and they're still, you know, basically running their shit on their own. I'm talking about the problem.
But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem, though. I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that here's the issue, though. When you draft a kid to the NBA, right? You drafting 18-year-old kids and giving them millions of dollars, but you're putting support around them.
Yeah,
You're putting support around them. When we are giving these young kids deals, we're just giving them deals and then basically saying, all right, now go fucking figure it out. We need to give them support, but that's something that if we had head of black music, that they will understand that shit. Gene, if I'm being honest with you, if I was running, this is just me being straight up. You know what we need at labels? We need managers. We need managers working at labels, not to manage the artists, but to manage the new motherfucking managers that don't know what they doing. That can just do.
Well, I think that's what we're all. I think that's what we're all kind of
fucking do every day.
Right.
But Lanre, but here's the thing, Lanre. But that's what we do. But that's not in our job description, and that sometimes gets really real cloudy, and it becomes.
But you hit it on the head. There is so much more that goes into it. I am so proud of the young managers that have come in the game that I've helped stand next to help show them and teach them when people were looking at them and being like, oh, those guys will be blown out in a year or two. And I'm like, nah, I believe in them and I believe that they just need the information. You get what I'm saying? So trust me, that's part of the job description.
I wanna get before we go, I wanna get Archie's perspective on that, because I know Archie has done management and obviously now is inside of the building. So Archie, what's your perspective on what Ray said about having managers in the building to help manage the actual managers?
I mean, I was inside the building the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, when Dom and I even got together, I was an assistant at Interscope. So
yes, he was.
The whole reason I was even there was always with the mindset of building something of my own. And my goal was just to learn as much intel as I could to replicate the business building model, which is brand building and sustainability. Yep. And I don't really think you can't, it's really tough to talk about breaking an artist unless we really talking about numbers. And until we are translating what our numbers mean and why we can quantify what passion really looks like on paper, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is a little bit of the issue. There's gonna be a little bit of a translation disconnect. And part of that comes with making sure we know what this shit means, so that when a head of digital that might not be on the same page as you tries to spit a story, you actually know the data
what you're working with.
And that's how we kind of start to change that narrative, I think, a little bit. It 1000% starts with the education, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
100%.
And like I said, guys, I keep telling you guys, I'm probably the oldest person on this right here and been in this game the longest. Not looking for clout or saying I know everything and been through it at every level. You know what I'm saying? Of every high-end client, from fucking Kim down to fucking down up to Rich the Kid. You know what I'm saying? You could name it, the Trip You Ready and all that. I'm just trying to tell y'all, me and my partners, we live in both spaces, okay? High-end executives, high-end managers, okay? I'm gonna leave it on this note. The problem is within the structure and Black executives, the way we teach each other. When was the last time, and we're all guilty of this, when was the last time we had a summit where all Black and brown executives sit in a room and figure out this system? When's the last time? We only call each other when we need something or think of this and that. Sure. You got to think about that. That's the problem. I blame this on people, not to take away from the L.A. Reeds, the Sylvia Romes, the Puffies. All these guys talk a good game, but really don't stand behind it. You know what I'm saying? They don't stand behind it because those guys are our predecessors. You know what I'm saying? Those are the guys where we have a problem because those guys are not in the seats because they went on to do something else or don't really empower. And I'm gonna say nobody's asking for a handout, but the problem us right now is the youth, you know what I'm saying, which is the thing that me and my team been working on, which this announcement's gonna come soon, is how we, it's the only way it's gonna be put together. You gotta think about that. When is the last time we really sit there? Like, every year we sit down like the way the rest of them do. Yeah, it happens, y'all. Y'all just don't know it. And really sit there and go, all right, this is what's gonna happen for you. This is your area for this month. This is your 3 months. This, and collectively keep this shit going. You know what I'm saying? You understand? A black executive gets fired and got to figure it out. A white executive gets let go and goes to somewhere else. Okay?
DJ
just
Moore
always
Millie.
remember that.
DJ
just
Moore
always
Millie.
remember that. You know, just always remember that, guy. And this is one of the reasons why me, myself, and my partners, we decided, you know what I'm saying, to build our brand within their system. Because you still need them. I'm not saying not all of them are bad. We just have to set the precedence and set the guidance rule. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. And our end, I could take blame to it because really people like me and G and hip hop and Al and the Tortezes, we should have never stepped out the game and stepped back in. We should have stayed in power.
Nah, G. Look,
but you know, can I tell you what it is though? Can I tell you what it is though? This is what it really is. This is the truth. I'm just being honest. Like, we don't talk about this, but let's just be honest. None of us see us really being no goddamn CEO. Like we all work at these companies, but the reality is none of us really know. All of us knows that none of us think to ourselves, man, one day, man, I'm gonna be the CEO of this motherfucker. It's not even like a reality to us. So we know we gotta build our own shit, because if we don't, nigga, one day we gonna be escorted out this motherfucker. So
no, but that's just
fine.
The truth. That's the truth.
No. But what I'm saying,
but
what I'm saying to you is that, so here's the problem with the Def Jam situation. The only people qualified to run Def Jam are people that had to go outside and build their own shit. And now you're basically saying, fold your shit, come run this shit, and take a chance to get fired.
No. Stop. Wait. Put it this way. We've been in this seat before, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't go like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you from experience. The problem is there is a lot of people out there who's qualified, who even own their own shit that they don't give the shot to. All I'm saying is it's not that. And yes, I do think of being a CEO of any company, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of building my own stuff. The problem is the fact is that, the circle has to be broken. And the way that circle starts being broken is by us unifying. And I'm not talking about you got to sit there and hold hands every day, what do you call it? But we got to, there's too many goofies. I call them goofies. You know what I'm saying? And then the A&R guys, all you A&R guys, stop trying to be famous. Do your job.
But Gene,
and you'll get to the same spot.
Gene, but the thing is, I just wanted to correct you on, I don't think you guys didn't do mistakes. I mean, you guys were kind of trailblazers and we kind of learned throughout the way. So I don't know. And I learned from everyone that's on this call correctly, right? We've had conversations about something in our paths. And I think this is what got us to where we're actually going and what we're thinking about moving ahead. So looking at what you and the rest of your team has done was just giving us, obviously, shameless plug, the blueprint on how to move forward. So Ray, I do agree with you, but I also agree with you, Gene. Like, so there is no wrong way in this. I mean, I think I think in life we acquire to move up in the world, right? But ownership is key. Ray, I see what you do with your management company throughout the year. It's been very powerful. But Lanre, you've been molding not only managers but young execs for this time. And you see where it's progressing and growing. You see how Atlantic is being molded. But I don't think there's no wrong way in this. I think we do need to communicate more. I think stuff like this will hopefully create a further dialogue for other execs to start making sure that not we just share resources, but we can share resources, honestly. I mean, we have to start moving forward.
I want to give Ari a shot to go ahead and talk, and then we're going to start taking some live questions. Go ahead, Ari.
No, for sure. I think even just from my perspective, I think one of the things that's like severely lacking is like real mentorship, like people really who are in position of power really coming back. And like, I feel like there was a point in time where Black executives were picking the next Black executives. And I don't know, right now it just doesn't feel like that's happening. Maybe there's not as many Black executives, but I think
they're suckers. They're suckers, Ari.
Yeah,
they're a bunch of
for
suckers
sure.
and goofies.
Yeah, it's like I think it's important for people to.
That's not true, Gene.
Ari, can I tell you why that's not happening? Ray, they're suckers.
Ari, can I tell you what that's not? Ari, can I tell you what that's not happening?
Hold on, let her finish her thought, and then go ahead, and then we're gonna take some live questions.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. It was, I think that's I think even just coming up, I wish there were more people who, even not necessarily me reaching out to them, but someone noticing potential and coming back and being like, hey, there's something here. Let me help you kind of figure and navigate this space, because A&R is a tricky space to navigate, especially when you're up and coming, especially when you're a woman, especially when you're a Black woman. So it's like you kind of, and there's not a lot of Black women. There are a lot of great Black women who do this, but it's not a lot of us versus how many men do this. So it would be nice if there was like more people kind of reaching back and like seeing what's working and kind of like, you know, like investing their time in developing the next generation.
You're right with that. And there should be more women. There should be women A&Rs also.
Yes, for sure.
Well, I agree with that. I just want to say,
go ahead, Ray. You got the last word.
All right.
Go live questions.
I'm gonna just say this. I don't think that they're suckers, because honestly, Julie over at Atlantic mentors, everybody loves her. She mentors a lot of women, and Jacqueline over at Caroline mentors a lot of women. So there are a lot of people mentoring. Here's the problem why it's hard, because they technically kind of play us against each other. It's fucked up, but this is the truth. The reality is that shit. I remember Archie when he was an intern working at Erica desk. Archie could call me anytime. Am I bullshitting, Archie? Anytime. Am I right?
Will do.
That's what I'm saying.
Archie don't call me. Archie don't call me.
Archie knows that. But no, he don't have to now because he's smart. He got a lot of shit going on. But what I'm saying is that anybody that know me can get me on the phone and ask me. But here's the issue. The issue is, I'm gonna give you an example. And I don't really give a fuck, because I know that it's a couple of people, a couple of executives at labels that tried to kill my name. Straight up try to kill my name for no reason besides I don't want you to be in power. So it's been opportunities where I worked at a label and they've empowered people who I've mentored. Like gave a label deal to dudes who were like my youngins and would like do a deal with them and then close me out the door. And I would be looking like, yo, why when you bring me in there, those are my guys. But then now I could be the fucked up mentor and be like, y'all need to make sure they got me in the room and fuck their opportunity up. But I'm not gonna do that. Hey, get y'all money, bro. But then when I realized that their whole job was to not empower me, this shit is all about empowerment at the end of the day. If a kid looks up to me or Eddie or Archie or one of us, and then that kid's boss, one of our bosses called that kid into the office and don't include us in that meeting, that boss just cut our fucking balls off. That boss just made us look like, fuck them. You don't need to talk to them no more. You can talk to me, which then makes us look like we're worthless. So it's really just like, if you want us to, it's hard for us to motivate each other because they don't empower us. So it's like, how can somebody put their arm around you and try to big you up? Because as soon as they do that, that person's boss is gonna see that and say, Ari, come over here with me now. And now all of a sudden, they're playing y'all against each other. I've seen it happen so many times. I've seen it happen to me with people that I've looked up to. So it's really just a system that just set up where it's only a few of us. They don't want to see all of us hanging out, kicking it. That's why when we get on here, it's like, shit, hey, outside of you, Ari, I done made money with everybody on here. You know what I'm saying? Or kicking with everybody on here, and I'm not gonna let nobody stop me from hurting my relations on here. I don't give a fuck what company I work for. Nobody's gonna stop me from calling Lanre saying, what the fuck you need help with? And if you need my help, I'm showing up. Because I'm not gonna let nobody kill our relationship because of where I work and because of where she worked. And I would hope she don't do the same. But that's because I'll tell my boss, I did the same fucking thing for you. Because when I worked at Epic and you were at Interscope, I did that for you. That's why we cool. That's why we got a 100 relationship. I won't allow anybody to kill me or not allow me to mentor anybody. So the reality is that what we have to do is we have to stick up for each other. And that each other don't mean black people. That each other means our fucking homies and our friends and the people that we mentor and the people that we look out for and standing up. And that's the real truth. And there are some suckers.
I want to add to that though, because it's like, I think part of it is like us understanding the need for confidentiality and transparency with one another. It's like to think that those meetings don't happen with other groups of people, you know what I'm saying? And they keep that information inside. There's always somebody that's definitely like, well, you know, we did have this meeting and it is this type of energy and that share of information is something that's real coveted amongst Black people. And I think that it's been lost in translation because obviously they call it a check to keep us in check. So understanding that, it's like, how am I not gonna let them leverage this against my people? You know what I'm saying? And if we all go into it, again, we all have our purposes for why we do stuff. If you go into it with a pure heart, God bless you. Some people don't, and their intentions are shown. Unfortunately, we still have to maneuver them. Outside of teaching A&Rs and executives how to do the job, I think that salve of maneuverability of the business part is something that also needs to be addressed because there's a lot of blind spots. We're all people. There's blind spots that our bosses have. There's blind spots that we have in how we interpret information. And it may be taken a little personal. And once you show that moment of threat, it's like, oh man, I can't really fuck with this person. And I think it's more so a little bit of that coaching and understanding how to keep that energy internally and channel it a little bit differently that needs to happen also.
Well, we need to have accountability.
And that happened to me before, Archie. I done messed up a couple, and I'm being honest, I done fucked up a couple of friendships thinking that it was people trying to hurt me, not understanding the game, and then realized later, oh shit, they did the okie doke on me. I fucked that up. And my relationship with that person might be the same, but I had to go through it. That's why I don't trip on it. But like Archie said, that's the best thing said all night. It's blind spots. We don't really have true mentorship, and we don't have no Clarence Avants. For some reason, when it got to my generation, Clarence Avant door was closed. I remember I thought with my mentors, I'm always like, why I never sat down with him? I mean, everybody I know before me was like, how you don't know him? That's a good motherfucking question.
But Ray, that's where I'm going back. I'm going back to the fact is that, it stems back to the circle and to the guys who paved our ways and who we came up with. We really don't. They really don't. I know I do. I speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of my team. Because there's not a person here that can't call me or who I haven't checked up on, or anybody here I didn't co-sign. Like, nah, that's a good.
Nah, but G, you and your team, y'all like real talk, like not on just what I'm saying, y'all some real niggas. Like Al hit me. Al done put up at my crib, bro, at my house. And if you've been to my house in Atlanta, I live far. That nigga done pulled up to my house like, hey, nigga, I just came to check on you. Y'all different. Yeah, man. Y'all different.
No, but here's what I want to say to this. I just want to say this.
We're gonna wrap it up right after this, Gene. But go ahead.
We're gonna wrap it up. I just want to say that, like I said, nobody on this, this call is angry. This is just passion. And also the fact is that, we really like, and really, you know what I'm saying? On my side, what I could do on my team, we're gonna make a change to this shit. And we're gonna show people exactly why we stuck together for 24 years, the same group of people, and had this level of success. And I realize that it's going to take guys like us to sit there and incorporate all the youngins that I'm seeing here on this call right now, including the females. You know what I'm saying? So I truly get it. I know why there's no Tracy Waples and Drew Dixons and all this, that. I see where it went wrong. And I see where young Bobby, or where I see Archie. I was there when Archie just sit there, an assistant, to sit there and watch him go up to, at Interscope where he went to, now to RCA, helps my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get it totally. And I just want to say.
But wait, take back that
I'm
we don't talk comment then. If I be helping on your shit,
no, I was only playing. Me and Archie like brothers, guys. I'm only playing. But listen, Eddie, I want to say one thing on this call. Everybody here, the goofiness gotta stop, and the sucker shit with everybody black executives. I'm putting an end to. I'm going to stop it because you know how you stop shit. Just like with this fucking virus, you got to get the vaccine and expose it. And I'm telling you. And I ain't, and be clear, I'm not Dame Dash. That's not my goal. All right? So just be clear.
The last words from Gene Nelson. We have a lot of people.
Get to the question. Ask these motherfuckers on this line. Who's answering questions?
So we're gonna jump to some questions. So make sure you're ready. Let's see who we're gonna start with. Dayre McHenry. I'm sorry if I messed your first name up, but Dayre, you're coming in.
This nigga, Gene is great.
Technical difficulties. The Zoom shit. I told y'all.
No,
what's going on?
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
Hello?
What's good, brother? How you doing?
I'm great. I just didn't believe it was gonna happen. Wow. I've been to a couple of these, so it's just rare, but I hope everybody don't mind if I take a second to introduce myself. My name is Dayre. I'm from the Bay Area. It's all good. It happens all the time, bro. It's happened my whole life, bro. I've had some terrible names be called to me on accident. Don't worry. So I'm from the Bay. It's all good. I'm from the Bay Area. Basically, I got my start off actually at Atlantic. You know Deani Harper probably, Lanre.
Man, fuck her. Man, get to the question, nigga.
I love Deani.
Hey, man, my fault.
You're good, bro. You good.
So basically, I've had a little experience in the industry, but I started to become a manager recently, and I hope my artists are right now. I'm having a hard time basically trying to convince, like, not be a dad, but like tell like, yo, bro, like we got to be consistent, like drop these trillers and like honestly do all the little things that like the kids and the people are going to be feeding into, so that we can just always hit these target markets and different people and just always stay consistent.
Get a new artist. Get a new artist. He doesn't want to stop.
Hold on. Let him finish, Ray. Let him finish.
So I believe in my hardest of hearts, I listen to a lot of music. He don't sound like anybody, but so I'm gonna stick with him forever, to be honest, no matter what, because I know where we're gonna be. But what is the best way to differentiate like being a manager and like not sounding like a parent, not sounding like telling people ordering, but like being a manager?
I wanted Archie to kick it off, but I don't know where he went. So I'll let Ray and Gene as managers.
And Eddie, if I'm being honest with you, Eddie, I want to try to get as many questions answered as possible. Absolutely. So when I see where they're going, I kind of want to stop them and just get there. And I know where you're going because I was a young manager at 1.2. It's easy. You can't want it as bad as nobody else. If you're passionate, find somebody that want it as bad as you, and you'll be fine. You can't want it for somebody as bad as they want it as bad. It's that simple.
Okay.
All right, next question.
Is that the only take, or
Archie? I'd like to get your perspective on that too, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Part of it is also understanding the brand in which you're dealing with. Like, not all of that stuff fits for the same people. Like, understand the lens that you're trying to tell a story through, as opposed to trying to fit it into kind of what you may see working at the time. And I think like the pioneer approach is always and with, you know, it's the road less traveled, but it pays off a little bit more.
Okay. Word. Thank you. I appreciate
it. And just to add on, I mean, I think in management, you can advise your client. You can't tell them what to do. You can advise, and there's pros and cons. It's up to the artist to make the decision, but I think you should advise and kind of figure out why he doesn't want to do these things, and maybe come to some solutions on why you think it can work.
Okay. And I know this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go real quick because I'm pretty sure y'all hate me right now. If y'all could talk about the people that just didn't work out. Like, I know there's a lot of acts that get to the industry, hit the success, but then get dropped off by labels, and like nobody will tell the story. So if y'all could talk about just one act y'all do.
We may be here all night.
Yeah, it's gonna take too long. Let me leave with this note right now. Rich the Kid still owes me money. So there's a piece of shit right there. Started with that one.
All right. His name's Traquan. If you want to check him out, his name's Traquan. Thank you.
Put it in the chat.
I ain't checking him out.
Still
Next, come on,
promoting it, and he don't want it.
All right, brother.
He promoting. Come on, man. Next.
Oh my God, man! I want people to win so
Cheryl.
bad, man. But it's like
Cheryl, you're
they
coming
don't
up,
want to
Cheryl.
win. Oh my God, man! My God.
Cheryl should be popping up in 3, 2. There she is. Hi, Cheryl. You're on mute. Let's unmute you.
Okay, hang on.
There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you, Cheryl?
I'm wonderful. I'm really thrilled to be here. I just wanted to ask a question. I've got an artist I work with. His name is Carleone Carly. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and one of the things that I struggle with is that because he doesn't sound like a given, talent out there, it seems as though people want to hear somebody that sounds like somebody else. And he's very diverse, and he can sing as well as rap and all kinds of other things. And it seems as though because he can't be pigeonholed into one thing, that's a struggle for people because he's not mumbling or he's not, he's naturally gifted. The other part of it is, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting Gene at a festival this past year, is that we're in St. Louis, Missouri. And so we're having to wave our hand real big here. And so I'm waving my hand for my artist because I think he's great. And
whoa. Talk about me and you met? Hold on, me and you met?
Yes. Yeah.
Gene, you meet a lot of people, Gene.
My hair looked a little bit better that day. I actually committed to you that I would fly you to St. Louis to see my artist.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I needed. I need a good hotel room, 3 good holes.
Okay,
that never happened.
No, it didn't happen because of the pandemic. We had to cancel our stuff.
She's crazy.
Okay. And so we got a new song to drop in June. And I'm hoping to be able to invite you then, but we had to cancel. Everything is falling apart because of the pandemic. So I just wanted to make sure I'm waving my hand from St. Louis. I'm still here. I'm still talking about it.
Well, everybody knows my email, so just email me.
Okay, yeah. I'm actually going to send you something today. I've got a whole little thing I'm going to send you.
Sure, I want Bobby to give you a little feedback. Bobby.
Okay. I think as far as, look, I obviously there's a norm out there and there's a lot of people following other people, but I think there is a shift of what's going on musically. Not everyone's not trying to sound the same, and individuality matters. I just think that if it's about a fan base per se, just try to build a small tribe. I think the small tribe works. I'm sure Ray will attest to that maybe, but you have to build it small and don't think as far as a big spectrum of things. Just try to build a small following, and I think
we're working on that.
Yeah, I think that matters the most than anything
We've
else.
been able to do things like he likes to do videos. So he got 30,000 views on a video that's a really great song, but it doesn't sound like anybody else's song. But people are streaming it and been streaming it, and I think he's worthy of a listen.
Building and growing that.
Yeah.
Being consistent.
I just want to say that when people say that they don't sound like nobody else, it's almost impossible to not sound like nobody else.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's rare for an artist to not sound like nobody else, but right, I get it. But when they don't sound like nobody else, that means either they're gonna be nothing or they could be Akon, because he didn't sound like nobody else. So I mean, embrace the uniqueness, find people that embrace it, and build on that brick by brick. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it now, including everybody on this panel. Let's make sure don't act like nobody on this panel don't all want it now. But the reality is that you got to take it step by step by step. So just take it step by step, and you got a really big step with Gene. And I want you to build on that step.
Will do.
I want you to take that. And
hey, Ray, she ain't got no step with me, homie. Till I get what I need, we ain't got no step.
I'm going to deliver. I'm going to deliver.
She told you she doesn't know me. He has a step, Gene. That's a step. She knows.
All right, it's a step, a light step.
It's a good one, though. Let's go,
Thank
G.
you. Thank you, Cheryl.
All right, next question.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Be safe.
You too.
I knew this call was gonna be epic.
Oh, never a dull moment. Lily X. Where'd you go, Lily X? I just saw you. Lily X. I like your
Lily
name.
X. Oh God, Jesus Christmas. What is going on here? Lily
X will
X.
be joining in 3, 2, 1.
I wish these people all knew that. Lanre is the one that can cut the check.
Yes,
Well,
Lanre. Anybody want money? Lanre cut you the money.
Go ahead, Lily. Hi, Lily. How
got
are
a
you?
check last week from Lanre. Lanre has the check, y'all.
Yeah, so I'm loving this entire conversation. A lot of my questions have already been asked, but I guess somebody already answered, like, artists that sound like someone else, because I feel like it's harder to break in if you do sound like someone. Like, there's this guy who's floating around who literally, like, is verbatim to Jay-Z's voice. And it's like, okay, well, you can't go up against Jay-Z right now.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You heard that bullshit he just dropped with Jay Electronica? It's time. Go.
Okay, well, see, that's like, I guess that's the encouragement. I guess this is the first time. This is the time
everybody sound like somebody. Listen to me. I want to cut you off. Everybody sounds like somebody. It's okay. Just make a good record and have your own sound. It's okay to sound like Jay-Z. It's time. It doesn't matter. Just make a good record.
Jay. I got my.
It's not about loving Jay. It's about. Don't worry about it. Make good. The problem is y'all in the studio.
So
the music ain't good.
Your question, Lily.
Yeah, Lily. Okay. First of all, what's your question, and what do you do? Are you an artist, producer, songwriter? What are you?
Well, I am an artist and a songwriter, but I'm also a manager / A&R.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Okay,
well, I mean, I'm an artist in my own personal life, so that's why I was like, but I'm not gonna.
Your personal life.
What do you mean, what's going on in your personal life?
I am an A&R and manager for about 5 different artists. Most of them are out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. But Minneapolis, Minnesota, we don't get a lot of clout. I mean, I know Bobby be showing love to Minneapolis, but like not a lot of other people. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we start getting that out? Like, there's a new playlist that just dropped called The Tundra, and that only has like Minnesota artists on it and things like that. So, but like, is Spotify playlist like the only way we can get on? Like, especially in this Corona crisis, it's like we can't do shows. Like, you know, I had artists who had stuff and events and gigs lined up. We had like listening sessions and things lined up, but now Corona hit, and so we can't do that.
Stop! Wait 1 second.
Yes, okay.
There's nothing wrong with Minnesota, okay? I would love to hear a different sound. You can make it. All right, hold on. But
from Minnesota.
Listen here, Malcolm X. This is what the problem is. First of all, you're doing too much. You can't be an A&R artist, a manager, a Taco Bell worker. Pick something that you really want to do it and knock that out, and then try something else. You just said 7 different things, and then you're trying to be the champion for the whole town of Minnesota. Just do good music. Drop an EP every 2.5 months.
I mean, I don't want to drop an EP. I mean, my specialty is outreach and engagement, you know, because that's like what I do in my other life as an activist, which I actually am. So I apply those same skills to my artists. So they can
my God.
So they can get exposure. Like, they get exposure, and we get people to the shows, and, you know, I put them on to other opportunities and stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not really who they want to see walking in the door, and what a lot of my female artists are dealing with is
Lily X, let me ask you a question, Lily.
Hey, can I talk, please?
What do you want us to do?
30 seconds. I really want to talk. I promise you, just give me 30 seconds. I promise you. Just give me 30 seconds. Lily, I'm gonna tell you something super honest right now, okay?
Yes.
You are the fucking problem. You are the problem. Right? Let me tell you why you're the problem. This is why it's so hard to get in the music business for the people that really want to get in it. Because it's people that always want to, it's these people who just are fascinated by it. That's like, I can do this. Bruh, this is the problem. This is why it's that one kid that's why there's that one Kendrick kid that really can do it, that can't get fucking spotted. Because
I
it's always that kid.
Because
gotta let me talk. I let you talk. I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word when you talked. I didn't say a word when you talked.
Go ahead,
let me talk.
Go ahead, Ray.
Gotta let me
Go ahead,
talk.
Ray, and then we'll let Lily have the last
Let
conversation.
me talk.
Okay, Ray.
Go ahead,
I'm just
Lily,
saying,
and then Ray's
like,
gonna talk.
I know that
Here's
you have to.
Here
I know
is
that
the
you have
problem.
to zero in. I know that you have to zero in. And so for each of my artists right now that I'm working with,
Eddie,
it's how I can zero in for them specifically on the engagement, outreach, self-promotion, connections, and opportunities, and those things. However, the other backgrounds that I have, I do.
Listen. You should not have more than one artist. You haven't broken shit yet. It is fucking like breaking an artist is like a fucking miracle. You have record labels that pray to break 3 a year, and you are one person in Minnesota, and you have more than one.
Well, I'm not even in Minnesota.
This is the problem.
She's not in Minnesota. Leave her alone.
That's just what I'm saying. So I hear y'all. I'm gonna get off so somebody else can like ask a question, and I think that's what I'm trying to say. So for a lot of us that are trying to break in, I mean, like these artists and these people came to me because they know what I can do and they've seen what I've done for one person. So now it's like that people are coming to me. It's like, yes, I can't do it all, but I'm not just going to turn them away and be like, go find someone else who may not have the skills that I have to help you get further than where you are now.
So Lanre,
move on. Thank you.
Hold on. I want Lanre just to give a quick 30 seconds.
I don't feel like women are getting treated with respect on this call. Side plug.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
But anyway,
breakdancing golf.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ari. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just to try to answer one of your questions. I think now that we are going through a pandemic and everyone's forced to sit down and be home, if you're focusing on outreach and engagement, I think you should double down on that. This is the time to kind of focus on their social media, focus on their music, connect with people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, social media is your friend. Try to find other like-minded people like you, who are managers, who are artists, who are songwriters, who are producers, and engage with them. You know what I'm saying? So now that we have this time, I think it's important that people really focus on that and really focus on your music and your relationships. And right. We'll get back to touring and all that when it's time. But right now, it's kind of about bettering yourself and bettering your artist and doing things of that nature. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you. That was helpful. But I'm gonna get off so someone else can ask a question. But I appreciate y'all. I'm really loving this. I'm learning so much. I'm actually taking notes. So y'all think I'm not being goofy, whoever said that word earlier, but bye.
Thank you, Lily. Never a dull moment with these guys.
I'm telling you right now, you mute my mic one more time, you're gonna have some smoke. I'm telling you right now. You better get these people answering questions fast, man.
I forgot that I did that.
I just gotta say that it's like these are people who are fucking it up these are the people who are fucking it up for everybody. These are the people that make you just want to say, man, fuck this panel, man. Like Lanre about to hang up. I could see it in her face. Like,
we're gonna go
these are the people, like, listen, I don't think I've ever spent this much time with Lanre in my life. And these are the people who are fucking it up. Look at Archie. Archie fell asleep. You gotta just, hey man, this shit is like American Idol, man. It's like Quarantine Idol. Hang up on those motherfuckers, man.
Let's go to
the next one.
Zenilia. I hope I said your name right.
I love Ray, man.
Zenilia.
1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Can you hear me? This is so amazing. Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Visualize this. So that shit is real, man. But I'm not going to get to the point. I first of all want to thank you for doing this, everybody. I just really want to play you guys a song because to have all of you in one room.
Oh, shit.
We can't do any songs, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
You're not happy with that? If you're not happy, I'm not going to do it. But I want to get the feedback because I feel that, you know, getting you guys in a room maybe can inspire other people as well. So should I just press play?
No, we're not doing any music. We'll do something later on future, but we'll put some information here where you can send some music, okay?
All right. Then I have another question. That's a shame, though. That's a shame, but I understand. We're releasing EP. I'm from Amsterdam. We want to release the EP. And what do you believe is the best way to do it in these times? Is that a logical step? Because people all are at home. They are, you know, they have time. So we want to like release the project. Do you think you have like a great strategy? What is the best way to put it into the market now as an independent artist?
Well, I have a question. Have you released music before?
Yes, I have. I have a lot of featurings and a lot of sings, big sings, and yeah, speaking with a lot of labels at the moment.
So what's your like your strongest DSP? Like, is it YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify?
Spotify.
Okay, so I mean, I just think I'm not giving you an idea. I just think you just how to release it is just whatever your audience is previously with your music. Just try to reintroduce that music to that audience and maybe try to figure out how to expand it in other ways. Obviously, everyone is being quarantined, so just try to find some creative ways to kind of expand for what you already have from you know, from your foundation. And I think that's the best thing to do.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. And be kind to people. Everybody has a hard time. I know some people are annoying, but give love. Love is important in this world. But you guys are passionate. I love it. But we got to be kind and respectful always. Because in the end, you never know.
Let's go next person.
But you are mean. You are mean. You need to be kind. It's energy. Love.
I agree.
Love. Ray, I love you. Love you. You're amazing. But Gene, you're too hard to people. Be kind. Show love because everything comes back to you. You never know who's going to meet you one day up there. Be kind. Even if you made it and you're a big man and everybody knows you are, be kind. Treat people with respect. That's all I want to say. That's just my message.
I agree. I agree.
I love you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Thank
you.
Music industry is tough. Not everyone's going to be nice to you. I wish that was the case.
Win Flight. It's an interesting name.
Yo, Gene, man, I just want to hang out with you, Gene. Gene, I just want to hang out with you a couple of days, man.
Yeah,
man.
What up, man? What's going on?
What's good, bro? How are you?
Y'all can hear me?
Yep.
What's going on, big dog, man? First, I want to say I respect everything y'all do. I got a question for Gene because he got the game today.
What up, son?
You in Atlanta? You trying to break an R&B artist from the ground up? What's a few steps you take?
If you from Atlanta and you got an R&B artist, what's the few steps you take?
Yeah, what steps are you taking personally?
If I'm not from Atlanta, but if I'm from Atlanta, I got R&B artists. If I like the artist, I believe in it. Get the music together, put that shit out as any way you can, and you know, and that's it. That's just a weird question, but
like, is you picking a single? you doing a project, like your videos, like just how would you roll it out?
Ray got to answer.
Ray could answer that for you better because I don't like R&B artists. So Ray could answer that better for you. Because there's a nigga out there that owe me $4 million.
Okay, I did that.
I'm from Atlanta, by the way, brother. What part of Atlanta you from?
I'm from the east side, Stone Mountain.
I'm from Old National.
Okay. South side.
I'm from here. Listen, man, Atlanta is easy, man. Just put out a song. Easy as that. Listen, the best part about Atlanta is that we got about 30 strip clubs and we got 4 urban radio stations. We have our own ecosystem. No other city in the country has an ecosystem like we have. Put that shit out. True. Let people find it. And listen, you gotta remember. Let me tell you, just give you some real game right now. The key to R&B music is niggas.
Right.
I know that sounds crazy, but no. Females gonna show up, but if niggas is fucking with your shit, that's why R. Kelly was so big. That's why Confessions was so big. Cause if niggas fuck with your shit is gonna be big. So don't be grinding on the floor and shit, cause you just X'd out all the niggas and they ain't gonna play your shit when they in the car with your girls.
Right.
Make masculine R&B.
And just to add on to that,
we need masculine R&B.
And just to add on to that, I think Atlanta has some of the biggest influences when it comes to R&B. Like what Ray is saying, like, you know, tap in with the people that impacts culture. Obviously, you know, strippers, nightlife, there's a lot of people that can influence culture in Atlanta. And if you're able to tap into that from a social media standpoint, and they're able to kind of support it organically. I mean, obviously,
Right.
you know, it could be a money thing, but maybe it's not. But if you're able to get people to kind of support it from that angle, I think you might have a shot.
All right, I appreciate that. Okay,
Get you a good producer. Get you a good producer. Get you a good producer. Get you a good producer and do that. You'll be fine. And if you're good enough, I'm gonna find you first.
I'm about to say something where I can shoot you a little song.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find you. I just
find you.
I'm gonna find you.
Don't find me. All right.
I just said I'm gonna find you.
All right, brother.
I got you.
Be safe out there.
Now, and I like that name.
Win-win flight. Michael Paroli.
Nigga about to crash.
Right. Michael Paroli is coming in. Mike, what's good?
What's up, man?
What's up, Bobby?
What up?
Hey, I just wondered what your relationships usually are with producers. Are you usually like, I know like there was a lot of talk about like managing managers. Are you like bringing in producers? Is that part of it, or do you let the artists and the managers completely decide that?
Is that question for someone specific, or is
just like everybody? Like I've talked with Bobby a lot before, but I think all A&R kind of have a different approach, and I'm just trying to learn different people's styles.
Ari, you want to take that one?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think for me personally, you want to bring as much value as you can. It's about connecting them with different producers and songwriters. I don't think you should solely rely on just the manager to make things happen. It's a team effort. You know, like everyone kind of has to pull their weight. But just depending on what the artist is looking for, what they're trying to do with their music. I think it's just about connecting them with the right people who kind of help them roll that out.
Awesome.
Bobby got moles in the room. Thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
All right, man.
It's so respectful. I just like that kind of. We need more people like that.
Let's go with A.D. Johnson. AD is joining now. Or maybe not.
They're not listening.
Where AD happened? Something happened to AD. So we're gonna go to the next person. Let's go with Juana Baez. Here Juana comes.
Put this shit, man.
Or not.
Hear me?
There we go.
Hi there. My name is Juana, and I'm doing well. As you stated, my name is Juana, and I'm from Boston. I am the founder of the Works of Art, and my question is very general. I know you discussed the importance of community and relationship building from a business perspective and from an executive perspective. Do you have any tips on how one can sort of form those relationships, especially when, you know, I'm from Boston, I don't have the luxury of being in New York or anything like that. So how can one effectively like send an email that sort of gets a response or form that sort of connection with folks like you guys in the room?
Lanre, you want to take this one?
I mean, I think as much as Boston is in New York, LA, or Atlanta, I think you have an incredible opportunity with Berkeley being right in Boston. And there's so much that goes on there as far as producers and writers and people who want to be future executives. I'm always big on like networking where you are, and then you build it from there. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, so you said you're an artist, you're a recording artist?
No. So I have a legal background, and so my hope is to delve into the business side of the space, whether consulting or contracts or anything of the sort.
That's perfect. I mean, I think you should definitely figure out how you get in the network that's happening in Boston right there. There's an incredible amount of producers, songwriters, future executives. they come out of that system and it's like right there. So figure out how to tap into that. That would be my main advice. And then I think beyond that, like I get so many random people that hit me, and again, depending on what day it is on my DM or whatever, like I talk to people, like if, you know, especially other women in this business, like that's something that's very important to me. And so, you know, shoot your shot, like, you know, so I'm big on like, it doesn't, you know, that's the one thing about social media, allows you to connect with people so easily. You know, if there are people you're interested in getting to know and getting to meet, reach out. If they don't respond, don't take it personally and keep it moving. But build from where you are. And there's a lot of talent in Boston.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Juana. Have a good one. Stay safe.
You too, guys. Thank you.
Good hair.
Let's go with Valentine.
Valentine.
It might be Jay Valentine.
Who's Julio Avila?
Sorry, that's our tech guy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a creep. Oh, I thought it was a creep and on the call.
No, and doesn't seem like Valentine is coming through. So we're gonna go to the next person. Let's go with Shelt Brown.
Shelt Brown, sound like a slave. Go ahead, let's go.
Shelt Brown. What's good, brother? How are you?
First of all, peace and respect to everybody on the call. I appreciate you guys doing this. This question is for Lanre and Archie. I'm happy that you guys are actually still here because everything going on that you're left by now. But yeah, I'm in Jersey, based out in New Jersey. So my main question is pretty much going from an assistant to an A&R. What's the likelihood of someone doing that within 1 to 2 years? And if you have seen it done in 1 to 2 years, what were some of the characteristics or actions or situations that kind of catapulted them into that? Or if it, you know, if you've done it personally, what was kind of your defining moment? And yeah, pretty much that.
What's the magic of 1 to 2 years for you? Like, what's the importance of that to you?
Me personally, I'm 26. Now, this is something I've been meaning to get into for years, but you know, life happens. So had to take other jobs in the meantime, but now I'm really ready to take that leap. Something that I've always been invested in as a child. So for me, the 1 to 2 years is just our own personal mark of saying, you know, now I would need the experience to match my expertise or my own passion behind it.
I mean, honestly, I would tell you as somebody at your age or whatever it is, that like, there's so much opportunity to build things from the ground up on your own. Like, and you might get more experience that way, to be honest, especially if you're on a clock with it. I feel like the assistants that are able to like make that leap really fast are hustlers. Like that's usually what makes the difference. Like somebody who comes in and is super, you know, already has the ear, but is hungry and knows how to get the job done. And, you know, but everyone's journey is different on how they got here. You know what I'm saying? So there's no magic formula to, oh my God, you're going to be an assistant today, and in 1 to 2 years, you're going to be a quote unquote A&R.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of it just goes back to, you know, what are you able, I think it's a lot of this is hands-on experience, plus learning from as many people as you can. And that's the one other thing that I think is amazing about this time frame is, yes, there are not as many people to learn from in the business, but there's lots of books. There's lots of there's so many places for you to learn and get information.
They're all under my coffee table. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's important to study and to understand the game, understand music, understand it all, you know, and try and educate yourself as much as possible.
Thank you. We'll speak. So I'm pretty sure we will.
Archie, just to add on, I mean, my bad.
No, you're good. Appreciate it, man. Anybody.
No. I just wanted to add on. Like, I think being behind the scenes, I don't think if there's a determination there, I don't know if there should be a timetable on success or where you want to go. I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to that. I've seen some of our elder execs catch their strides in their 60s and 70s. So, like, I'm sorry, I don't believe in that.
You've seen people in their 60s and 70s catch their stride?
Yeah.
Clive Davis started was later.
Clive Davis been catching his stride his whole life, but I'm just saying.
He was a lawyer first, you know.
It's not really. It wasn't like a definitive like 1 or 2. It's just more so of like I just trying to get a feel of like a likelihood of.
I'm not talking about senior
I'm not trying to be an assistant for 15 years.
I'm not saying that.
Yo, hold on.
I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about.
No, I got you. I'm just joking. I got you, G.
Yo, Shell, what part of Jersey you from?
I'm from North.
We should let Archie speak, man, because I seen Archie go from intern to assistant.
No, and I'm asking Archie for a specific reason too, though. Is my friend is a stylist. She just did some work for the I forgot the Jamaican artist though overseas. I think he was in Jamaica for.
Archie got his own stylist now. That's what's going on, Archie.
No. But yeah, so
Go ahead, Archie will get the last word, and then we'll move on to the next person.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, the title thing, I feel you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, I went from like marketing intern to A&R coordinator. You know what I'm saying? And
I got you.
At that moment, it was really what I made myself. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't about me getting no title and feeling like I had arrived anywhere. It was me keeping myself busy and finding other opportunities to justify the shit that I was asking for.
Got you. So my question would be like more so what would be that? Is that like, taking it above and beyond and finding more artists or making sure that you have that one project or
it's more so knowledge. It's more so knowledge.
Exactly.
Joe, I'm gonna tell you from firsthand story. When Archie first became an assistant, the first artist he found was the guy that sang Cooler Than Me. What was his name? What's his name, Archie? The white kid.
Mike Posner.
What's the white kid? Mike Posner. He was at Duke, and Archie found Mike Posner. He was an assistant, and anybody who would listen, he was a great assistant, but he would play Cooler Than Me and say, "We gotta fucking sign this kid." And I remember saying, "This dude,
I like to
somebody." So you got to be a great fucking assistant first of all, because you will get fired. But all that passion shit, that don't mean if you ain't getting the coffee on time and handling my expenses on time. That's the first thing. Second thing is, after you do that perfectly, you better be finding some talent fast, because ain't nobody gonna just hand some shit to you and say, "Here it is." So I seen Archie firsthand. I was like, this dude gonna make it. I remember when he found Dom Kennedy. I was like, he gonna make it, because he just was looking for shit and he wanted it too bad. He was gonna do it.
Respect.
All right, Shel.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Good luck in Newark.
We got about 10 minutes left, so we can hopefully get about 3 or 4 more questions in. So let's keep it going with Juice.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
None
I'm
of these
have a
people
name
are asking
requirement for this.
what they got to do to get a check. If I'm one of these people, I'm like, Lanre, what do I have to do to get a check in the next 30 days? Straight the fuck up. What I got to do? Well, I got to show, like, nobody's asking a real question.
Y'all hear me?
We can hear you, can't see you.
I'm quarantined. I ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't ready.
Oh shit, I gotta go.
But I do have a question. I wanted to know, is there an age requirement, in you guys' opinion, regarding music, and at what age you can start putting out music?
You want me to answer that?
You should let Bobby answer that.
Yeah,
Bobby said that he missed.
I like you, Gene. Gene's on another level. Come on, bring it, Gene.
All right,
Bobby said he saw people in their 60s and 70s. Bobby found people in their 60s and 70s that caught their stride.
No, I told my Bobby.
No, Bobby, tell the story of the 60s and 70s. Bobby, tell him the story of the 60s and 70s.
Ray, don't do that to my guy Bob, man. Don't do that to him, man.
Go ahead, Gene. Go ahead, Gene.
Bobby made my day with that one. Bobby made my day with that one.
Hold on. What type of music do you do, ma'am?
Well, actually, I'm a registered nurse. I'm an essential worker, but I love music. My brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you.
You're welcome. My brother, Yacht Music. He does music. So he's 30.
Stop. If you're 30, you just starting to rap, knock it off.
No, he's not just starting to rap. He's been rapping, but it's just a question.
Working. Man, stop at 30. At 30, sell drugs. I don't know, do anything but stop rapping. You don't get it by 30, it's over. Stop it. That's the answer right there. Next.
You asked for a juice.
Oh, no, that's
get back in that hospital.
But listen.
Come on, man. You playing right now.
Can we smoke over this fool? Gene crazy, man.
Put that girl back in the hospital, man.
Thank you, Juice.
By the way, if her 30-year-old brother is having fun making music and enjoys making music and wants to put it out, let him put it out. Who cares?
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If someone fucks with it, they fuck with it. If they don't, but should he quit his day job? Probably not.
No.
There you go.
But,
there you go. Thank you for saying that, Lanre. That's very important.
Yeah.
Your job, hey, man, you could be at home all day doing all types of porn shit. Don't mean you could be a porn star. Keep your job.
And you know what, Eddie, it's this panel. I can really come away saying something very important to the people watching. You're gonna run into different types of motherfuckers, and this is why you shouldn't quit. But definitely take the advice, because somebody might tell you to quit, and somebody might tell you something else. But definitely take the fucking advice, okay? And just don't quit. This is really important. Gene is saying real shit. Gene is saying real shit. Like what your uncle would say, we ain't got time for ain't got time for that shit you on. Yeah, which is real. And Lanre is saying with the nice, the nice, lady would say, like, hey, but it's the truth though. Nobody's lying to you, right?
If people are making music, it's because
if you ain't made it by 30, something's wrong.
Wait.
Lanre, go ahead. Hold on, Lanre, go ahead and say what you're going to say.
No, I'm just saying, some people do it for different reasons. If he's having fun doing it, why not? Put it out. Who cares? Yeah. It's not, doesn't always.
So that's another thing. People always say, I want to do music. Like, listen, at the end of the day, this is
going to be destined. There's like a 1%.
Listen, anybody can do music.
There's a 1%
anybody
in this game. Exactly.
And anybody can do music. Anybody can do music, by the way. Listen, TuneCore is $30. You can make a fucking project, load up on TuneCore, and now you got music out on everywhere. Anybody can do music at the end of the day. If you want a career now that's the way it gets raw and uncut, and nobody gives a fuck how you feel. Because Lanre will hug you. Lanre will hug you and gladly send your ass out the door and not give you a check. He will give you a motherly hug and say, great meeting. You're sweating and I know you tried. Now get the fuck out my office. So let's be clear.
She's not
so
denying it.
Rap.
Juice. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Have a good one.
You too.
Lanre got postured on the nigga like you goddamn right I will.
We're gonna try to take 3 or 4 more. Let's go with
Bobby, I'm gonna call you to get those people. I want to hear those stories, Bobby, after this, Bobby. I'm gonna call you after this shit is over, Bobby. I can't wait to talk.
He ain't gonna let that go, Bobby.
Bobby had a 6-year-old intern. I just can't wait to call Bobby. He had a 6-year-old intern that caught his stride. He just got hot.
Yo, bro, you know what I was talking about? It's all good, man.
I don't know where he went. Let's go with Jay Hampton. Hampton.
Can you pick women?
I don't know who's who. It's like picking names out of a hat. What you want me to do?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we gotta get that
photos here. And Jay,
gotta get that program.
No, all right. Let's see. You want to?
Yeah, how my teeth look, Ari?
I'm better than mine.
Ratia Miller. Ratia Miller. Let's try Ratia Miller.
I miss y'all. I miss working with y'all, man. I can't wait till this shit over. I just want to talk shit with y'all.
Ari's gonna answer this question.
Ratatata Miller.
Is it Ratia?
Yeah, I'm half Thai. It's an Asian name.
How are you?
I'm good. This is just a heart monitor. I'm not dying or anything.
Okay. I was about to ask. I was like, yo, you sure you should be on here? I was about to ask.
Yeah, I just have the autoimmune disease. I was just diagnosed.
Oh, okay. You'll be good. God is good. Don't worry. You're going to be all right.
That's right.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, I wrote 2 questions, but I'll just ask one for time's sake. I feel like internships are a great way to break into the industry. And I feel like UMG is one of the only companies left that's still doing it because of Ms. Rona. So do you think that internships are going to be a thing coming up in the near future, or how soon do you think it'll come back up for future A&Rs like me in college?
Luckily for you, Ari works at UMG.
Yeah, I mean, due to this pandemic, like we don't know when our offices. We don't have a date of when we're coming back, but I don't think internships are going anywhere. I actually did my internship at Atlantic, and I started my career at Atlantic. So, but yeah, no, internships aren't going anywhere. I think it's important to make sure there's also things you do. There's college reps, like, you know what I'm saying? There's people who work at labels who reach out to colleges and figure out who wants to be reps on campus. There's networking. You can connect with people who are A&Rs and reach out and send music, send ideas, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as, like, you don't have to be in a building to be an A&R. As long as you're finding talent and sharing that information and you're doing a good job, people will look for you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to necessarily be in a building, but yeah, I don't think internships are going anywhere. I think they're important. I think they're important to the label. I think they're valuable. It's how we determine who our next generation is going to be. So
yeah, I actually go to Berkeley. I'm in contact with Amanda Sammy, Senior VP at A&R at Capital, and I'm in contact with Stacey Fuller.
Yeah.
So I hope that I get to meet you guys all one day, and I'm so thankful and grateful for this opportunity.
All right, Ratatouille.
Thank you.
Good work.
Have a good one.
Stay healthy.
All right.
All right, let's take two more. Let's go with Malaya Jones.
Malaya Jones, okay. All right, now we talking.
It's all one, so I don't know. Is it Malaya?
Let me see what Malaya working with. Let's see what's going on here.
Malaya? Or Malia?
I'm here.
Malia. We can't see you. Stop. You capping right now. We can't see you.
I'm hold on. Okay, hold on.
There you go.
How
are you?
Shit.
Let me wipe my camera.
Here we go. How are you?
Hi.
Hello. Where are you from?
Make that soul glow off
I'm
the camera.
Leah.
What's up, y'all?
Where are you from?
Hila is an incredible songwriter.
Yes, she is.
Hey, Ari.
Hold up here. We're not taking calls from people already getting checks. What's going on here? Malia, you're gonna have to pay me. I heard you're an incredible songwriter. So that means you got some checks already from people on here.
She's starting her career. Let her have a moment.
What is it? Malia? Is it Malia?
Myla.
Myla. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, that girl named Malia. Myla.
It's Myla. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Go ahead, Malia.
Yeah, I just wanted to be in and out, and I wanted to thank you guys for doing this. And it's nice to see you, Ari and Lanre. It's been a while. But I just wanted to know how Corona has affected you all personally and how you have found new ways to reinvent your role and still be active during this time. I'm very curious to learn.
Guess what? I'm gonna answer the question. How about that?
Okay.
Eddie.
So I think that, you know, from an A&R standpoint, right now we're all on the same playing field, right? There's no, you know, just going to the studio and to Gene's point earlier of, you know, let's take this picture here, or I'm in the studio, or let's go to the club, I'm hanging out with my artists. We're all literally have the same exact resources and tools, and it's about finding, you know, great songwriters like you, great producers, you know, whether it's on the internet or tapping into our network, or me calling Ari and saying, Ari, I had this incredible artist I need records for. We're all on the same playing field right now. So it's really about tapping into your resources and figuring out how to get our artists great records.
And then also I have a sub question, because I have a lot of A&Rs, publishers, whoever, hitting me up for records still, and I'm wondering if artists are still cutting records given the you know, current climate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Malia, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think none of these niggas doing nothing at home. For me personally.
Gene's on Netflix.
No.
They ain't doing shit.
People are able to focus more.
Be too rich, Gene. Your artist might be too rich.
If they cut one song, if they cut 2 songs a day, now it's taking probably 2 days to cut a song. It's super slow. Lanre, your girl and my guy are literally working tirelessly every day at 3:30 p.m. to finish on her album, but it's like you know, kind of verse hook every day. They kind of, you know, because
but it's happening.
Because
this could be a reality for a long time. Yeah.
The process is slow. You know, the process is slower, and we release some music. But as far as the corona, it's affected all of us.
And there's some new tools. She disappeared. Oh.
Gone, Bobby. She's gone.
She gone.
She hung up.
She gone.
All right, we'll take two more, and then we'll get out of here. Let's go with
You keep saying two more.
You keep saying two more, man.
No, I said three more.
It's a little, man.
I love Bobby. I love Bobby, man. I love Bobby, man. Bobby, I'm coming to New York to hang out with you, man.
Come on, man. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Bobby the Oracle.
I know you.
He gonna get on Instagram after this and drop some knowledge.
I know I'm not in the closet.
Walker.
I'm not in the closet.
AJ Walker.
Bobby got the 60-year-old intern.
Archie's in LA, so Archie is free right now. Look at Archie. Sunlight and shit.
AJ Walker.
AJ Walker.
Yep.
That's not his name. That's not his real name.
How do I start my camera? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Just
okay.
Click on. There you go.
That looked like Chet Watkins that we was on before.
No.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to ask a question. I just want to give a good question out here. First and foremost, respect all of you and your answers, especially Gene and Ray. I like how straight up you guys been tonight. My question is from someone who has the experience of the business side of the music and inspiring A&R. I used internship at Warner Music Group. My junior year of college, I did a crossover rep internship at Delaware State University, and I have a big network from Baltimore all the way up to New York. I now live in Houston, Texas. My question to you all is, from someone that has this experience that does booking management and concierge, what suggestions do you have to get to the A&R level? Whether it's just an opportunity to be in the room with the A&R to learn from and soak the knowledge from, or it's something to get you enough stuff to become an A&R. What's your suggestion from there?
Well, AJ, there's no school for A&Ring. I think it's just being around the right room and the right people. So you got to be at the right functions. So there's no real system to it. You know what I'm saying? If you was already in the Warner system, you should have stayed there. The problem is you left.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I would just say to you, if you want to do A&R, bro, you in Houston, find an artist that you like and believe in, and just offer your services for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, but explain to them that I'm doing this for free with the hopes that when your moment comes, that I could do it on a bigger level with you. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, man, this is all, we are in the service business. Like, we all talking shit and having fun, but we all know that we here to service our artists. We here to service the creative community. So there's a creative community there in Houston. Get in the middle of that shit, service it, be the guy to know all the producers, all the writers, get to know people like us, be the guy on the ground in Houston. So if I want to know who the hottest producer in Houston is, you should be the guy that we call. If I want to know who the hottest artist in Houston is, you should be the guy to call. You got to be the guy that services.
Yo, AJ,
check
this out. I'm gonna give you a fuckboy's number named T. Farris in Houston, and he can connect you with somebody. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
My line brother working on. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna give you somebody's number in Houston you could call.
Okay. You gonna do it now, or you emailing me? Or?
You want me to give it to you right now? His name is T. Farris.
No, you could do it. We'll get you the information offline. We don't put that man's name.
We'll have Eddie do it off.
Yeah. AJ, just drop your email into the chat and I'll catch you.
Okay, can I say one more thing back to Ray real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
That was great. That was great advice, and that's what I was looking for you to say. But my thing is for here, I know being at Warner Music Group, most of the biggest outlets is New York and LA. And what you're saying, working for free, that's exactly where the image I'm going with, because I have a 9-to-5. I work for AT&T. I'm good on the money. I'm not out here searching for money. I want the opportunity. I want to soak the knowledge. So I'm asking, since there's not the big record labels in Houston that I know of, I know we have Rap a lot. You know, we have 1501. I see those guys in the clubs all the time. But I'm asking, how would I get into the room where I can sit here and have a one-on-one genuine chat and take notes and soak knowledge from someone such as yourselves or T Fair on the other side? What's the best way to approach that?
You got to be well for me. I'm Atlanta based, so everybody on this call is either in LA or New York, and I'm the only guy in Atlanta, and that's because like literally labels will send their artists and the A&Rs to Atlanta to work with my team, and the A&Rs will go to the club, and I would sit in the fucking studio and do the A&R work, and I wasn't getting paid to do it. So I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take a job to do this shit because I cared about the records coming out of the studio because that's how I ate. But then it was like I just took a job. So you got to look at it like you really got to just look at it like stop focusing on that. Let me explain something to you about this shit. We are all on this call and we all love each other. We're all chummy. But if you had the hottest artist in Houston right now, we will all be sidebarring the fuck out of you trying to get to you right now to get that artist from you.
Okay.
Don't worry about where you at. We will find the fucking heat, brother. Make the hot shit and we will find you. We don't give a fuck where you work at. You could be in Hawaii. We are coming. And Gene is too. With his management.
I ain't coming. I'm letting you know I ain't coming right now. Yo, hold on. Is that a lace front beard you got on? Is that beard real?
You're ridiculous.
What's that?
AJ, AJ, make sure you drop your email in the chat. We'll make sure you connect. Okay?
I'm gonna do it right away. I'm doing it right now.
All right, brother. All right, appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you all.
Right, thank you.
Say two more. Watch. Eddie's gonna say two
more.
more.
I'm saying that was the last one.
Oh, it is?
They can't,
okay.
Because you don't want it anymore. You got 26, actually more than that wanted, but you didn't want no more. So we're gonna end it. It's 8:40. I know obviously people got things to do. I appreciate it, but we're just gonna go around the room with just some last.
Hold on, Eddie. We're all in the same boat. We're in a pandemic. Nobody has nothing to do.
How do you know?
That's a fact. Yeah, that was a bad thing to say.
Lanre got things to do. Lanre got to sign off on some shit.
Well, I got
Lanre. Nobody has nothing to do.
I got a kid, and I got to watch some documentaries. My uncle, we watch documentaries every night. That's what I do to keep my sanity. But we can do our last sign off though. But Lanre, you're a parent too, so I know we got to go through the same shit. We got, and you know, and Bobby got a 70-year-old intern that he got to keep, a leash on because he hot out here in these streets.
I got a Chef G album I'm worried about right now.
Let's go, Bobby. Let's go.
I got a Chef G album, 115.
Let's go, Bobby. Bobby's the hottest A&R in the room right now. Let's go, Bobby.
We're gonna go around the room real quick before we do a quick sign off. We'll start with Archie. 30 seconds, last thoughts, last anything.
No, I mean it's funny you started with me. It was interesting.
I'm going in alphabetical order.
And a great opportunity to get everybody's insight. And one thing I'll add is like with some of the greats, they don't always tell you when they're reaching out to a mentor. You know what I'm saying? And like I can honestly say I've reached out to G, Gene, Ray, you know what I'm saying? Eddie, hip hop, you name them, like, and soaked up game. And
thank you, son.
I think part of it is understanding that I'm not gonna get something from any of these guys that I'm gonna be like, okay, that's the path I need to follow. In my mind, it's more so understanding what fits my path for me to kind of fill a void to figure out what'll work for me as I'm figuring out my shit. And it's like, I think too often we kind of look too literal information to kind of like, okay, cool, that's exactly what I needed to hear to send me on my way. And it's also the interpretation, I think, that's more so than anything. So that's all I gotta say. Thank y'all for being a part of this. This was great.
Appreciate you.
Ari. You're a super smart guy, man. You're a super smart guy, Ari. For real, man. Like, you make me proud when I hear you talk, man, because I seen you come up, man. I'm proud of you, man. Seriously. No, on some real nigga shit.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, go ahead.
No, this was a great panel. I feel like I learned a lot. There's a lot of great people on here. I think this is important because, this is a forum for us to share information, to reach people who probably wouldn't have a chance to talk to any of us. So this was super dope to me. So I appreciate being a part of this. Thank you, Eddie.
Cool, thanks. Bobby the Oracle.
I just want to say, look, I appreciate everyone on this panel. I'm even though I'm in the game, I always study the game. I'm always studying what Lanre does. Ari, I'm always proud of what you're doing, especially with the deal that you did with the baby. Archie,
Thank you.
I don't think we've never met before, but obviously I know your accomplishments. Gene, you're a big brother. Obviously I never had, and you and the whole crew. So that goes without, you already know what it is. Eddie, I appreciate you. Ray, look, we always gonna cut up, man. But I really, I honestly, I truly trust your judgment. You know what I mean? And I love your perspective, keeping it in Atlanta and how you go back and forth. That really shows that you really wanted to keep it at home base. For myself, this is what keeps me going. I mean, obviously this pandemic has kind of affected us all. And for me, it's the adjustment hasn't been that bad because we don't have an office in New York and I work remotely most of the time. So we just work more hours. There is no stop clock for me because obviously if there's no shows happening between artists, more artists want to release music. So it's kind of putting us more in overdrive to make sure that we cater to our artists' needs to kind of move things forward. But speaking to me personally, I just want to make sure that that we can kind of continue showing from an A&R perspective on how we can really develop and turn these artists into stars, into superstars. I think we are in the star business, and sometimes these artists do take a lot of development. We are in a competitive business. We work for our prospective companies. We are chasing to get that next artist or develop that next star, and that's important. However, I learn from you guys, and I hope at times that you guys learn from me. And I think that's just my my last words.
Absolutely, appreciate you, brother. Gene Nelson.
Yeah. Once again, thank you for all y'all. I'm just happy to see all y'all. And thank Eddie, great platform. Thank you. And like I said, everybody on here, what I'm saying, I'm proud of, and I love working with. Pleasure to meet. I know, Ari, I'm just meeting you. Pleasure to meet you. I've heard of you and everything. But Archie, Bobby, Ray, you my guy, son. You get it. You know where we come from. You get it. And Lanre, our history, and this is it's a great experience. I have a lot more venting to do, but it's all right. I'm gonna leave you alone, Eddie. I'm not gonna get your show in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But there's $4 million out there I'm looking for.
Oh my God.
Okay? There's a nigga out there, all right? I'm gonna expose. T. Farris is a bitch, all right? And there's a couple more people I can keep going, but I'm gonna end it there. All right?
Ray Daniels.
Yo, man, I just
and
want to
tell
say,
Brooklyn Johnny, where the fuck's my Cardi B album? And
Lanre's gonna have the last word on that. Go ahead, Ray.
Yo, y'all notice, Ari, you don't know me that well, but everybody here that know me know. When I say I genuinely love y'all, I do. Like, y'all know me, I'm genuine as fuck.
That's it, Ray.
I'm cheering for all y'all. I'm cheering for all y'all. I done seen all y'all in the trenches. I know how hard it is for all of us. Some days we be ready to kill our motherfucking selves. And that's why I go so hard on the people asking us questions, because they look at us like we got it together, but some days I be ready to quit this shit. But when I see y'all, that shit made me keep going. This shit hard, my nigga. This shit hard. Like, I take care of my entire family with the music business, bro. Like, my mother, my kid, everybody with this shit. So I honor this shit, and I honor y'all. No bullshit. So, like, I hope to see all y'all after this shit end, and I want to see all y'all win, even if it's against me, because nobody can play me against somebody that look like me. I don't give a fuck who it is. So let's all motherfucking win and take it to the top. And I hope everybody that's watching this shit win. And sometimes you're going to get smacked on your ass by one of us, and sometimes you're going to get hugged by one of us. But just know that's our way of showing you love, my nigga, because that's the realest shit.
Exactly. And Rich the Kid still owes me money.
Someone is mad. Lanre, last word.
Thank you for having me, Eddie. Like, this was a lot of fun, and connecting with Gene and Ray and Bobby and everybody on this panel that I've been knowing for a second. The one thing I just want to say, and I think it's really for everybody out there that's watching, and then for us as well as Black executives, always believe that you're more powerful than you are. You get what I'm saying, in the sense of, like, I think there's this this sense of like, you need to hear from people like us, or you need the permission of people like us or people above us to be able to be successful in this life. And I don't know. I just think there's a mindset thing that's important in everything that it is you do. And if you believe in the shit that you're doing, if you believe in your talent, have fun with it, but like, go do the work and don't care about what people think. And if it's meant to work, it will work. Like, and that's really my bottom line with it. And I think that more than any other time in history, there is just so much information. And if you really want to succeed at this, go do the work of figuring that shit out. You don't necessarily, like, it's great being able to hear from people like us, but there is just so much information. I think the people that take advantage of that, the people that study their craft, if you say you want to be, you know, one of the best artists in the world, but you're studying songwriting, you're understanding what the greats did. If you want to be an A&R executive, you're learning from, and I think Archie said a really good thing, which is obviously being able to learn other people's past is important, but it's to distill all that information and figure out what works for you. Because my path is not anybody else's path on here. And I think that's what makes me special. That's my superpower, is how I put all my shit together.
Talk that shit, Lanre. Talk that shit.
And Lanre, Lanre, can you just, before you get off, can you tell them how much y'all miss me in that Atlantic building? Just tell them y'all miss me.
On that note, no, Gina, I miss you so much.
I miss Lanre. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to have a moment with you. I'm sorry.
Well, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for participating. Bobby, Archie, Lanre, Jean, Ray, and Ari. You know, the purpose of this was to really bring us together as a community. We obviously all work for different companies. We all are very passionate about what we do. And we all love talking about, you know, what we do in our perspective. And it's important to give that information out right now in a time where people need information. Like you said, Lanre, people want information. They need to understand it. And, you know, that's the purpose of this whole, you know, thing. So we'll be back next week with some new folks and some new perspective and some new insight and some new comedic relief. So again, thank you for everybody tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
All right. Fuck off.